Hey there, Port Moody. It's Councillor Callan Morrison here. I want to thank you all for filling out the Community Satisfaction Survey that was presented to Council on October 8th. Now, one of the things that came up in the survey was people's concerns about development and housing within the community. And one of the things that we need to make sure that we clarify is how housing is going to be controlled going forward. And one of the big things is Bill 47 passed by our provincial government. That mandates a certain amount of density within certain distances from our SkyTrain stations. Within 200 meters, it's minimum 20 stories, 400 meters, minimum 12 stories, and 800 meters, minimum 8 stories for every residential property within that area. Behind me, you'll see our Legion building, which has been around forever, and that's an 8-story building. I happen to be standing in an area that qualifies for 12 stories. So what you see behind me is actually 4 stories shorter than what every other property in this area will be allowed to build under these provincial regulations. That's really important to know because it's not council that's making that decision, because personally, I did not want to put any towers on the south side of St. John Street, but that is something now that is going to be allowed. And there's no minimum for how much parking must be provided. So you can imagine where people would be parking as well if the parkings are reduced. So it is something that I wanted to make sure I clarified. I'm going to post a little map here as well that you can see the circles and some of the areas that are touched by these circles. One of them being at the top of the chines, where it shows that you can have an 8-story building at the end of a dead-end street. This was a paintbrush approach taken in regards to every municipality that happened to have a major transit center, and it didn't really take into account any opinions from our city. Our city actually didn't have any input on the design of this map, and therefore our residents now will have to deal with the fact that we have to provide amenities, of course service upgrades, recreation programming, and other civic services to this growing population without any actual real tool to pay for that growth. Another area of Port Moody that will be heavily affected by Provincial Bill 47 is Viewmount Drive North, heading towards the Inlet Sky Train station. You can see in the distance the Inlet Glen apartment building, which is 6 stories tall. That is half the height of what's going to be permitted on every residential property to the north of me. So that is a big concern, especially when there is no protections in place for the trees in the area, and we can't actually reject an application that meets all the other criteria based on tree protection. So I'm hoping that at some point we are able to get some conversation happening with the government to be able to include tree protection and other park space amenity options for the city to be able to protect. So I hope that you get a chance to take a look at this. I will post some links as well in this video for you to look at that is on our city website about where these areas are affected, but pretty much everything here in Moody Centre within 400 or even 800 meters of the SkyTrain will be 8 stories or above if somebody chooses to build it, and there's nothing that our council can do to stop that from happening. So hopefully this helps a little bit. We're going to get more information as time goes on. Please note that these changes, like any growth or development in the community, is not something that happens right away. This council has actually approved 0 brand new tower projects in the community, as much as others might say otherwise. There's been 0 that have been approved so far, and everything that you've seen as far as larger buildings, 6-story buildings, is all stuff that was approved during the previous council. Not to say that there won't be towers being built at some point. We have all talked about having high density housing near transit, and that is something that that I believe in myself, but it's something that is not happening as of yet and has not been approved as of yet. So hopefully this will help with a little bit of the facts and misinformation out there, and I'm always happy to hear your comments and receive your emails. Please feel free to reach out to me online, Facebook, Instagram, or of course by email. Thanks so much, everyone. Have a great day.